Hi, Lawrence. Thanks for joining me today. Just tell the audience your full name and your role where you work.
No problem. Thanks very much for having me. So my name's Lawrence Ampofo. I'm at Vodafone Voice, which is an acronym for Vodafone Intelligence Services. And I'm part of the commercial service tower. So in there we have like B2B and B2C. And what I'm responsible for is the technology hub within that particular service tower. So That's me at Vodafone.
So we've been talking about generative AI and particularly about how you govern it within the organisation. Lots of talk about responsible AI, etc. What are the differences with this arrival of this strange Gen AI thing versus any other technology that enterprises had to handle?
I think with generative AI, the differences that I'm seeing internally and also with the work that we're doing, looking at the market changes as well, is that Gen AI really is a general purpose technology, very different to other large technology waves, what we were speaking about, like, for example, things like cloud, etc. Generative AI really permeates all of our business operations. So I think that that's really causing us as a business to think more deeply about, number one, how do we operate as a business? So what are our operating models? What are these core processes that are going to be touched or could be enhanced by generative AI? We're starting to think a lot about our customers as well. So what challenges are they facing into? What processes, what different business operations does generative AI affect for them, and how can we best support them? And then I think also from a different perspective, not from an inside out, but from an outside in perspective. So from a regulatory perspective, how do we then need to orient our business to better face into maybe some of the headwinds, some of the opportunities?
And so from a current status point of view, do you have the kind of governance in place to handle that?
I think as a business, we were talking in the green room about governance more generally and about generative AI. And I think with general purpose technologies, it's over and above, say, RPA. It's over and above automation. Of course, it's part of that artificial intelligence strategy, artificial intelligence stack. But generative AI, and particularly when you're starting to think about agentic workflows, these different bots that can start to make decisions by themselves, of course with a human in the loop, but they can start to make decisions. That governance layer, how we start to think about governance, is incredibly important. Whereas in the past we would have very strong, and of course, we're critical national infrastructure, so we're part of a highly regulated industry. So the way that we would think about, number one, for example, how we capture, how we handle, how we deal with customer data, how we deal with business data, how we deal with data of all kinds and all of these business operations, we would have very strong governance layers across those to be able to support those. With Gen AI now, and of course, the way the speed of the market is moving, we have to think about, okay, not only do we have the governance in place, but how do we operationalize that at the speed of the market? So it's certainly something that we're facing into, that we're thinking about very, very strongly. But it's also something that we are actively operationalizing. So bringing in technologies and working with our partner organizations, both academic and external, really working with them to think about, okay, how can we do almost like a crawl, walk, run approach? How can we start off slowly, but also how can we learn very quickly from other use cases, from our own data? So it's very much an incremental approach while we look in the market, but very much it's a shifting landscape that we're dealing with in terms of governance.
Okay, thank you very much.